So it could really be, whoa, that's cool. It's 7 p.m. I didn't know it was 7 on the money. This is this is like unofficial. I don't know if I'll post this anywhere. Fernando's here. Fernando's on, and the idea of living here with AZD, I think it just gets kind of lost in the ocean of information that we're just all swimming in. And what is happening here? I described it to, maybe it was Jordan Amari, or it was the Apprentice meeting earlier that I did. And I mean, it gave myself even more context on it. It was just simply, I'll give you this, and then the idea of this stream was, checking in with you all. Maybe we don't have time to express ourselves, but we have this, here's my point, this opportunity with the 1 in a 10 billion, this 1 in a 10 billion opportunity here. There's a guy on Earth, the one guy demonstrating what he's doing. There's other guys that have like flavors of it, even playboys that have like lots of money and lots of women and kings and sultans and whatever. This is so unique because what is holding these women in orbit, like did you guys just see and hear me close the door? Mm-hmm. You didn't have the angle. My angle, I saw one of his girlfriends bringing the dog back around, and she had a sweater on, but she had like her legs or whatever, and I caught my eyes go up, like her legs, meaning like she had some form-fitting, like whatever the fuck they were. And my eyes go up, and right then, in a moment, the reaction is, I need to close this door. It's too open right there. I don't want that right there. It inhibit the professionalism that I'm given right there. I'm going to be speaking out with it right in voice range. It's just going to be a second. She'll be gone and then go back around. But that's one of multiple girlfriends that's just like coming in to my property right here. That I was in the chair right there, and on other occasions, like crossing paths. And it's like, what is going on here? Here's this like 10 that's just walking by with a dog, and I'm going to take the dog away. And who the fuck is this? And there's another one, and there's another one that's walking with him there. And I was in Sultan's shower earlier because they recaulked my shower. It was all whatever. So they said 8 hours. And when I get out of the shower, there's Arash. I hear the girls actually, and then I look and I realize it's like at Arash's head level. Like he could turn and he would see me naked, basically. And it's not, the window level is not right. And then there was like 3 or 4. It was 4 girlfriends that walked by, and I'm just like right next to what is going on right here, and it's like this gets lost. That in 10 billion people on the planet, here's a guy that's not the kingdom, not the Bentleys, it's nothing. It's like invisible. Something that's invisible that just as you start to look in, it just gets more and more interesting. And the closer you look, the more interesting it gets. And I don't know if that's what happens to the girls, but it's a phenomenon that I'm observing from the outside that internally is still a mystery, but not a mystery. You would say it's not a mystery. Like I understand it. I have 800 pages of typed notes from all the lectures and everything but it's not my life yet, but I feel as if I'm putting in the structure that when it happens, it falls in line. It's like a magnet, just like getting right in, and it just like goes right where it was meant to be. But if you're not in that magnetic field, it doesn't get affected by it. It just has to like cross paths at the right time because it's orderly. But the magnetic field is the result of the order of the molecules. If they're chaos, that's why a magnet loses its magnetism. You drop it a bunch of times, the molecules go out of order. So it's the order that magnetizes, but only where it has influence, not everywhere, just where it has influence. And okay. So I'm observing, I'm in proximity to this. This is like amazing. This is amazing. Like I was in proximity to it for 4 years. I felt like I was like holding a treasure of the world and yet not trying to hold it back. Like I was that guy, you've all probably been there. I was that guy that was like, man, you gotta be blown up. Like, why aren't you more known? Like this and that. And the other thing is like, you should be huge. Everybody's, I think, thought that, had to have. I said it and he was like, it's not for the masses by definition. By definition, it's not for the masses. Intrinsically, it's not for the masses. It's never going to blow up. It's not for that. It can't. And if it did, the structure, it would implode. There would be corruption and this and that. And like for the popularity of it, it'd be like Scientology almost. And So I've always been seeing something that is, there's so much pressure against it, but you wouldn't know until you look to see. You wouldn't necessarily see that there was so much energy between two magnets that were repelling each other if they were just being held. If there wasn't a lot of violent motion, if somebody was stable, you don't necessarily understand the forces they're holding back because they're stable. Right? That makes sense because when you're around here, you know that stably there's a lot of forces at bay. This is a very stable system. Is that even a word? Stable system with but a lot of really powerful forces at play. And the opposing force is just an avatar with a voice and a vocabulary and a bunch of women to display and a bunch of monks to display. It's just a display of something with the communication of something. And it stays on code for a long time, for over 12 or 14 or however many years he's been building it. So it's been tested. It's so out there. If you could find holes in it, holes have been poked in it. And so I was explaining to Mr. Damari earlier that eyes have been on it for so long, critical eyes, especially anybody that's had more than one girl at a time, you know that there's more eyes on you. If you're ever hanging out with more than one of them at a time, there's more eye on you. If you go from one girl to another girl to another girl to another girl, like your day is filled with girls, there's eyes on you at all times, and you can't DLV. The more, because you DLV, you get rejected, you get a rejection, it starts to drop, and it becomes this feedback thing. So you start to eliminate DLVs from your life the more engaged you are with women throughout your day. And because you get mindful of that shit. And he's been on it for a long, long time with a lot of eyes, a lot of high value in the female world, the high value eyes, critical eyes, making it hurt every time you DLV. So it's amazing. What we get is a presence that's immeasurable because it's so far displaced, and yet it's right adjacent to us. It's right next to us, but it's so far displaced from our experience, we don't have the words to measure. So that's what he's teaching, is the words to measure even the mindset. You can't even measure it. It sounds ridiculous. And it gets so, fuck. That's my opener. I don't even know what else to say about it. I got Cortez here, right here. So then, and then we'll go over to Fernando and then open it up for everybody. What's up with you, man? You all, or whoever, who, the internet connection back here might not even be the best, really. So, I saw you nodding your head on some of those things, like,
the biggest thing that I caught for sure, you touched the ballpark of it, but you didn't mention it, which is the DLV. So on the flip side of that coin was the DHV. So that's something you didn't mention. And like we've been saying for a while, is that AZD has been DHV in his entire life. So when it comes to you guys and what the fuck you got going on, DHV your life. Like it's your fucking life, bro. Be proud of that shit. I don't care what you got going on. I came from throwing boxes, um, military to delivering boxes. Like I was a delivery driver, bro. And I was like finding ways to even DHV that shit because of the people I met while delivering packages. Now I sell cars. Easiest way to DHV cars is to get in these fucking. We got the 2022s come out and like yo, zooming in this. Even the 2021s. Not everybody's driving. I'm not even driving 2021. I'm not even driving a 2015. Like my shit. Anyway, the like how bad can somebody give me a situation in your life that's so bad that you can't DHV it? Like is your life that terrible? You can't find nothing to DHV what's going on? I was when I was on the streets, I still carried myself as who I am and met great people and was still dating women. I don't know, man. I don't let nothing stop me because I have a goal and I have a vision. I say wake up every day when you do your rituals to your goal and your vision. So if you have a purpose, I don't think anything can stop you. I don't care what you go through. Yes, I took some L's, but even then I win. I feel like everything happens for a reason. I don't know if y'all like all spiritual and everything, but for me, I feel like my gods and my demons, I got control over them, and I feel like everything that I envision is going to happen. So, and I think this was we meant to talk about like some behind the scenes things, right? I'm not sure how much or we can't talk about, but we're in a position now. I don't know. Can we talk about the like the 8 o'clock meetings and shit, 7 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock meetings?
The vlogs in the morning?
No,
In the evening?
Yeah, in the evening. Because I know it's like for people who paid.
Yeah, well, we could talk about those meetings, like, so we've been doing for the Beast Camp, the Advanced Beast Camp, the Rise of the King, we've been doing 8 p.m. Sometimes whatever evening talks with AZD. They're not Lions Den meetings; they're just for the Beast Camp. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, what have you gotten from those?
Okay, so for everybody who don't know what the fuck is going on, and AZD probably mentioned this in some of the Lions Dens, but I've been missing a few of them, or I get on a little late, so I don't necessarily know if he talked about it. But he has the whole building coming along with the Prometheus building. Is that what it's called?
Something like that. Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
So he got
Prometheus. He has an office in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sick. That's what I'm saying. It's like invisible things that he's leveraging. You wouldn't know that he had that connection until he leverages it in the material world. And there it is. Magic, right, Aiden? Boom. It's just invisible, but it's communication. Who was it? Someone asked me the other day, like, what is this power you speak of? He's another sorcerer. What's the fuck is his name? Tom Belton.
Yeah, it's Tom Belton.
Belton, there it is. And he's like, what do you mean power? And I was like, what did I say power? And he was like, you said that AZD, somehow you exchange for this power. So whatever I was saying. And I was like, the power, Fernando's good on talking about this. The power to move when you want to move, and power to be still when you want to be still. And man, Fernando has powered up a lot, and more so recently. And talking about living with AZD, Fernando, what can you tell us about power?
Power to communicate as well has been very big in everything.
Mm-hmm. Or Cortez, what can you tell us about power? What would you say about power? Being around here with AZD.
I don't want to be redundant because I did talk about this before. I don't know if everybody caught it, so I said, so the last Beast Camp, because all these Beast Camps has literally been getting better and better and better. And it's crazy to say that shit because they're saying it, and then there's actually the shit actually getting better and better. So the last one, we've been out at the strip clubs, and I've been watching him, how he carry himself in the environment and how pose he be and how he just, his aura extends out and it's powerful, and him just being able to get any girl he wants on command, the way he wants it, the way he sees it, and he even tells us what he's doing, what's going to happen, and then that fucking thing happens. It's like, now it's time, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah.
It just goes into it.
It just reminds me of martial arts as a wrestler, just a wrestling perspective of it. It's like if they had a totally more advanced skill set of wrestling than there would be openings that you wouldn't even know were openings. And if you were so advanced in watching two other guys wrestle and you were so much better than them, you'd be like, watch, I'm definitely going to pass by high crotch. Like, I'm going to totally throw by and watch me suplex this guy. Like, where in the mat do you want me to pin him? Just mark it out. Where do you want? And before, if you're really cocky, then, and you're the home team, then you can mark on the mat where I'm going to pin my opponent. And that's where I'm supposed to pin my opponent.
Levels.
Right? There's levels to it.
And on that shit, like Yogi Chris example, it's like me being able to wrestle, because I have my form of combat as well, so I think I'm pretty good. And then if I watch Yogi Chris wrestle, who's like a master at it, it's like, damn. He's like, how does he do it? How does he make it look so effortless? So even though I'm able to compete in the arena, or I'm able to do my thing in the arena, watching the master do it, it's like, damn.
Man, and I was telling Fernando I was watching sports highlights. What got me to the sports highlights was wrestling highlights. Somehow it was just in my feed, the biggest upsets or whatever. And as I'm watching these wrestling upsets, I see a lot of movement that I used to do, and I'm like, yeah, I could do that. I saw a couple of things that I was impressed by, like, fuck, I wouldn't want to be hit by that. That was like just the way they move their hips and like the strength and the movement of it. And I was like, fuck, I could see how it advanced after I stopped wrestling in the last 14 years. That movement, I don't remember that juke ever being displayed because I was at the highest levels. I saw like what they were showing. These are national championships. I still knew most of it, but there were some new things. And I was like, but what you're describing, Took a lot of pain to get there.
Mhm.
A lot of getting beaten up to learn the solutions to getting beaten up in various situations. Repeatedly. So,
On that note,
man, that makes it make more sense to me.
On that note, that's literally, I don't know how long I've been around, but that's literally how AZD has described the process of his life. He failed, got beaten up, lost plenty of girls to where he get to the point where everything just seems so fucking effortless and easy with him. So it's the same thing for everybody who's trying to game now or get a girlfriend. And I'm like, bro, you need to go out there and fail 1,000 times. And once you do that and you get tired of failing, it starts to become easy because you correct every mistakes. And like you mentioned earlier, the whole DLVs thing, you start to correct the DLVs, you start to DHV shit. Everybody that's pushing themselves and their goals and their dreams. I like to think about DC because the way DC started out, it was literally like me. He was over calibrated in every fucking video and everything he do, but DC went head first into it until he started getting this shit like perfect for him. So you just get started, fucking go out there, overdo it, fail 1,000 times, and you start to correct as you go. But you gotta get started.
Man, and I want to really circle back around, like really living near AZD. What is this experience like? Because this is 1 in 10 billion. This is out of 10 billion people, I see one person that with the mind, that invisible thing that just got this office in the Prometheus building for a very, very small price, that got this office in Los Gatos for a fifth or an eighth of what it would be locally, just through because of good repute and at 20 acres. And at his age, at his wealth level, 7 very desirable women that are just like smitten, just totally conquered and taken, and owned and possessed, and still beautiful and desirable and leading other women. And he's got this whole, like when you see the inner workings of how his life is ordered and everything. Well, anyway, I want to give you a different perspective. Fernando, are you available?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah, he with it. All right, brother. So what is it like living with AZD recently? I mean, everybody knows it's great, powerful. Like you have after you say all of the great, amazing things about it, it's not like you wouldn't believe. Like, then what would you say about it?
Totally. Now, it's one thing being in it and one thing observing it from the outside, right? And while you're in it, it's hard to see yourself in this reality, meaning from the outside, it seems so far away to attain what AZD has achieved. From the inside, it seems very, very possible, but I'm still so far away from AZD. And I believe all of us are too, right? Because of what this man continues to do on a daily basis and create. And, we're not around AZD all day, right? We very rarely have segments of time around AZD. I think the only time we actually spend with him is in the morning time for a video blog, which is about 45 minutes. And towards the end of the night for about maybe an hour, sometimes 2. So it's not a whole lot of time that we get to spend with AZD outside of Lions Den. Now, one thing that that's just my mind's been blown recently is our ability to be influential, meaning, I've been talking and communicating to a lot of women, and the way women are responding to me these days is like, my internal dialogue is, when it comes to women, let's look at the subject of women. I, in my mind, do not see any woman above me. I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care what status she has. I don't care what she looks like. In my mind, I see no woman above me. Truth be told is that fantasy that we, am I still there? That fantasy that we create in our mind, because I can recall in the past when I saw a beautiful woman, or like these moments where these women move us right internally, and then in our mind we start to create this fantasy around her of how it's going to be like having this woman, how it's going to feel like, once she's yours. And when it comes to women, I'm not fantasizing about women. And I don't know if this has anything to do with how they're now responding to me, because I allow them to have that fantasy. I'm creating fantasies for women by one, recognizing that I'm a fucking man. And Yogi Chris saying, what's your definition of power? Well, one is that I'm a fucking man, right? I'm a fucking man. And when we say words like on code or tapped in, this is all language of what it's like to be on this primal, this magnetic, this addictive, this strengthening. You see, I'm feeding the ideas that continue to amplify this ego, right? I'm a man and I recognize I'm a man. And fuck, am I proud to be a man. Now, all day I communicate what it's like to be a man, but a man of what? A powerful fucking man, right? And all day I'm continuously keeping this image of what it's like to be a powerful man. Now, we have this archetype called a beast, right? Now, the beast allows us to calibrate to the extent of what we can be, because there's times where you're being a pussy when it comes to your money, when it comes to women, when it comes to your goals, your ambition, your dreams. You're being a bitch, a fucking bitch. Now you got to identify yourself in these moments, because you get caught in the idea of these things. That if you grew up in a household with low money, you've never been around environments where money was never a problem, you won't be able to access that shit. You won't be able to access that reality. If you've never been amongst the reality of a man who has multiple women, beautiful women, fully submitted to a man who's constantly demonstrating his power. Now, Yogi Chris earlier said his whole life is a DHV. Now, when you're around AZD, you got to check your own ethics. All day, you're under your own internal surveillance, because you can see a man who has done this for 40 years. Let's say 20 years since he's met Monotopo, right? 20 years of full dedication to his process that he continuously elevates. Now, a lot of us are also on the process. I hope all of us are on it, right? Now I'm starting to see and reap or tap into this frequency. You know, the way women are treating me these days, my mind is blown, because there's still that version of me, that little Fernando that never was able to get women. You know, the guy that was, you know, fucking ridiculed and condemned by women, right? I'm still that fucking guy, and I still feel like him. Nothing's changed. I still see him. I still think like him. But then the way the world is reacting towards me, oh man, oh fuck, I'm mind blown by it. I'm like, what the fuck? This is crazy. This is crazy that, you know, we have these ideas that one day we're going to become successful. We have these ideas that one day we're going to have all the women we want. One day we're going to be confident. You see, motherfucker, that one day isn't in the future. It's right now. It's simply a shift in consciousness. Now, I don't entertain any idea that I'm less to anyone. I don't accept any idea that any reality in life, that if you wanted to have more money, I don't accept the idea that I can't have that. I truly believe that I can have anything and everything in my life. And even if my conditions in life didn't reflect that, meaning that if my bank account was at $1, if I told you my bank account was at $1 right now, but my presence would be of a man that's beaming in life, would you believe it? Because that's the reality of it. But see, those shit, that doesn't define me. Now, it doesn't mean that money's right on its way. And if I wanted money, I have women right now that would give me money, all the money in their bank account if I asked. If I wanted my bitch to give me $1,000, she would give me $1,000 fucking dollars right now, gladly, thanking me, saying, thank you, here's $1,000. Thank you just for being in my life. Now, I don't know what power is, because power is just a word, but damn, is that fucking power. That a woman is willing to invest in my business and pay all this shit and fly out here. God damn, women are flying here from different states to meet me. I'm not paying jack shit. What the fuck is going on here? In my mind, I'm tripping out. I'm tripping out all day of what's going on around me. But good, I expect this. Yeah, actually, I expect way more. And my expectations are going to continue to fucking skyrocket because there is no limit to this. Now, stay true to this process because this process is what's going to give you access to all of this shit. There's no mistake as to why Yogi Chris, Demigod, myself, Sultan, all of us are experiencing a new reality because we're living with AZD. We're the first men to ever live with AZD since, you know, his old guys, but this is a whole new reality. This is a whole new life. And, you know, I'm sure we're gonna keep talking, so I'll close the mic from there.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. It was very inspiring. I was only going to say about the video blog and then the ethics. So, but whatever you got.
Okay. So Fernando inspired some things in there.
Yeah, very inspiring.
So I think this whole point was talk about the behind the scenes of things. So one, there's a difference between behind the scenes of the beast camp, and there's a second difference between behind the scenes of residents. So I'm gonna try to break down or separate the two. I'm gonna try to do it in a timely manner. So when it comes to the beast camp, for those, I know everybody can't make it in person because we have people in Canada and shit like that and third worlds, I understand. But
They can make it.
anyway, you can fucking make it. Yogi Chris said you can make it. All right. So some of the things that you're going to experience is one, what it's like to actually walk with AZD in these streets. It's a different vibe and a different presence when you're walking with him, and then getting the reactions or seeing the reactions that he get or how he carry himself and how he just makes moves is one experience in itself. Then when we actually go have lunch, if you haven't had a sit down dinner with AZD, then you have no idea what the fuck what's going on. Pyro made a nice promo video and it had some of the words that you can hear when AZD was speaking with us, and I thought that was very powerful. If you haven't seen that video, that gives you some aspect of what actually goes on when you're actually out with him. What else for beast camps? Now we got the VIPs going on again. The strip club was fucking crazy, and I already talked about my experience. Now I here to talk about my experience, and even
I'm having an experience right now, though. It's very interesting because I'm realizing Cortez was all about it before he'd ever met AZD.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was like, yo, in 1 week I was down. I was dedicated after 1 week of watching him.
So I'm realizing that Cortez, like, these are his first experience, when he came here, and then the first time that I think I might have been with you, maybe you went by yourself with AZD your first time or whatever, but his first meal or first couple meals here, eating with AZD, like things that I had done many times, but throughout the years, never like living in, it felt special for me because all of a sudden I'm now, even if I'm in rented Airbnb for 2.5 months, I'm still like living here. So it's like, it's different. Yeah. And I'm just now realizing that, like, I'm just like kind of going through that experience through my system as you're talking. I'm like, these first experiences of you going to the strip club with him and you going out for meals with him and you, those two come to mind.
But even then, it gets better the more you go, because now you got the first time experience, and then now you got the experience that you are, that the rapport that you build in the environment yourself with him. So at the strip club, we all have a presence now, because AZD is the one who opened up all the fucking paths for us. So now when we go with him, we got our own shit. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you'll get recognized by the people that are recognize him, and it's kind of a shock. You don't know what you're seeing, and you don't know how to measure it. You don't know how to take it the first time he disregards you to talk to the woman, not because she's more important, but because she's used to get the next woman, and that's used to create a moment. And there'll always be a moment that happens when we're out that's a culmination or an accumulation of cause effects, and you missed all the causes because you didn't know what you were looking at. You didn't. So anyway, so what I'm realizing though is just that you were all about it, so much about it, before you had ever met him in person. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost like icing on the cake afterwards that, it's as good as I thought it was, because you were already about it minus those things. Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. Anyway, that's
I don't get why people are not dedicated. Like, okay, if
I think the guys that are here are hella dedicated. I don't. There's a couple new faces, but the guys that are here, and then a couple of Slidell's new, and some. I guess Jonathan the World, but most all these other guys have been around for. I mean, they've been pushed, and
I like that word. Hold on, because that was a big one right there. I always say you motherfuckers need to apply this fucking shit. Y'all are not applying it, and honestly, to be straight up, all 5 of us whoop anybody ass when it comes to gaming, communication, or whatever. And if you think you can do better than me, Yogi Chris, please step up. I would like to see it. And the only reason why I say we can beat everybody's ass is because we've been here learning from the fucking master himself. We've been at his fucking feet. And as Fernando spoke, all the experiences that he had and is having is because he's been here and he's been applying this shit. Some of y'all come to these beast camps and you're fucking inspired, and then you do these testimonies, and then when you go back to your fucking regular life, you stop applying shit, and then we start to go wrong there. That's why the Beast Camp Phase 1 consistency was put into effect.
Yeah, that's the Phase 1 process, is consistency. Because when you get that wheel, then you can start replacing habits. It's a technology of designing your ego for being a social monster, just a beast. So. Yeah, I mean, I was just going to actually talk about the morning video blog. That time is so precious, so precious. When Fernando was like, we get only 45 minutes in the morning and like an hour or 2 at night, I'm like, dude, that's so much. That's so much. Like everybody outside of here is like, I want that. That's enough. Like, I remember I was telling, what? Go ahead.
Yeah, since I got a part-time job going door-to-door sales, right? And it's something I did as I built my business in real estate, right? When I first got started, I've been an entrepreneur since 18 years old, right? And I started my real estate business going door to door, not having zero confidence, not knowing what the fuck I was saying, timid as fuck. I would knock on doors and hope people didn't answer, right? Because I was just so afraid of, communicating and not knowing who the fuck was going to open that door. And now, I got a part-time job just to catch up on bills and pay debts and shit like that. Look, you got to do whatever the fuck it takes to make that money. If it's money that's restricting you from investing in these beast camps, look, I made this the most important thing in my life because I recognized that everybody else in life was fucking up somewhere, and they were all fucking up when it came to the female. I noticed that men who had all the fucking money in the world were slaves to their fucking women. And that shit, just seeing the way these men operated and moved, that shit, I was actually very, very upset when I saw this shit happen. Seeing how women were treating these men that I admired. Until I met AZD, that was it for me. I recognized that nobody else's opinion was senior than what my teacher thought of me. And I made that the most important judgment. And so every fucking event, I showed the fuck up. I figured out ways to make money, because I guarantee if you ask yourself right now, are there ways to access money so that you can dude, there's so many ways. You can start a GoFundMe and save for your education, right? Starting your education, furthering, I guarantee people will start funding you. Because why? Because you're going to now be a representation, a good citizen of the universe, and people want to help you when you move with a sense of conviction in life. Now, again, back to what I was going to say is,
I've right there.
Exactly. I missed some of the video vlogs a week, because I got to go early. And I feel like I missed so much in that 45 minutes. They're talking later in the evening about subjects, and I'm like, fuck, man, I missed whatever they were talking about. Because
man, I meant to send you my notes too. Fuck. That
simple concept of what I missed. I mean, I watched the video blogs later, but whatever, like that inner dialogue, those inner conversations that are not on video is what I miss when you're not around. And there's just so much you're missing. Even if you come to every beast camp, even if you're coming to there's still so much that you don't see. And we have access to, and I value the fuck out of it. That's why it's the most important thing in my life, because I'm seeing my life just shift so fucking fast. So fast in everything I'm doing. But it starts with that sense of belief in yourself to make this shit happen. Because listen, you're only going to get out of it whatever it is you put into it, right? In this call right now, we've taken the time. We could do a million things. We could be hanging out with AZD right now. He's in the living room watching cartoons. I guarantee we'd all rather be over there hanging out with him. However, we're taking the time to do this shit right here for you guys so that you guys get access.
And in so doing, of course, you understand. I see Aiden nodding his head. I think he understands. He's telepathic. I think he knows what I'm about to say.
Go ahead.
In so doing, give AZD some space.
Yeah, totally. Of course.
Everybody wants AZD time.
Of course, that's the power of it. Yeah. Everybody wants it.
Everybody.
But see, that's what you got to have too in your life, right? Yeah. When it comes to your women, when it comes to your clients, you got to be that seductive, that attractive, that magnetic, that like, fuck, I want more of it. And I'm seeing that with my bitches. I give them so little time a day, maybe not even an hour, maybe, of my time. And I see that when we do communicate, it's unreal. And that's what you got to develop in your life. There's got to be that element. I think this is in the book, The 48 Laws of Power. You can't be so accessible to everybody. If you're in a relationship, you can't be so accessible. In your business, you can't be so accessible to your clients. If you're that guy that says, oh, I'm that guy that works 24 hours a day, motherfucker, people are going to run you to the fucking floor. You know, you got to set your boundaries in life. Now, back to the topic. I know I'm jumping on all kinds of topics and shit. But, this is the reality of what it's like to live here, right? You start to tap into these new concepts, these ideas, these limiting beliefs that you got to face in yourself, right? There's going to be times where you're going to get emotional. You're going to have to look within yourself and be like, fuck, man, right? I can't tell you how many times I fucking cried in myself about random shit. Hasn't been lately, but, that's part of the process. I don't cry. I'm a beast ass motherfucker now, right? But point is that this is part of the process, man. As you go through it and you make it real to you, it becomes the most important thing. Why? Because I think you're the most important thing in your life. And if you don't believe that you're the most important thing in your life, then motherfucker, the world's going to treat you as such.
That's well put. That's really what it boils down to. It's a difficult thing. I had found it difficult to express that idea, like how to put it in words. I had it. That's why I'm here, because I was doing it. But that's really what was it again?
If you do not see yourself as the most important thing, in your life, then the world is going to treat you as such. They're only treating you based on how you see yourself. That's it. They know nothing else outside of you, outside of how you conduct yourself. Yeah. And so all day you got to have a sharp ass fucking mind on how you're performing and how you're moving, your demeanor, your character, your movement. That's why this is the process of character development, is developing a character that is just, it has so many dynamics to it.
Yeah. And there's a few new guys like Mardani and some of these guys, a few relatively new guys that are on the phase 1 process. Aiden and some of the guys, they've been around more or less. You should be doing the phase 1 process. And then, there's some level 2 guys here that, are going deeper into shape shifting, have a balance, a different kind of balance to their routine. And then they start tapping into higher levels and alpha code. And really everything is available to everybody, but you get more of it when you understand the beast level 1, you get the beast level 2, and then you get the alpha code, and then you get anything dealing with Zepar. And then now you have like kind of a full, complete kind of AZD. And then it's just circling back through that shit. Zepar has all the mind control and hypnosis stuff. Beast phase 1 has just so much like aggressiveness and Panjo kind of survival energy. Phase 2 has all the surrender experiment, TM, and all that shit. Phase 3 has alpha code, man. That's game. That's straight alpha code. And you just circle. It's like the wheel. You're cycling through this. This is the repertoire. This is the syllabus, right? Of this power. The power to influence your environment, hold back the environment, attract beautiful women, keep them in your orbit. But it's not about it's not about the women. That's not the mindset. But that's a reflection of the power. That's a manifestation of something that's invisible without that. Right. And so us here, the Guardians, we'll be stepping up lately. We got the business more in place now. So we'll be stepping up. Cortez was just talking about that. We'll be stepping it up. But I want to open it up for any questions or comments or, any inspirations from the guys. And then right after Cortez, and then questions or comments.
So what Fernando said about you being the most important thing in life, I think that was the most perfect definition to what we mean by tapping in. Like if you can get that idea, the tapping in with what Fernando said, then that's perfect. But one thing I wanted to say is that like you said about the environment, and I'm not going to talk about me here, but I learned to influence my environment and be in control of my environment because of the teachings of AZD. So with that said, I wanted to talk about the residents and why that's important.
On that thing, how has being in proximity to him above and beyond just like the teachings necessary?
Because like I can talk all that shit now because I can do it, but like come on, there was a point in time where I didn't know how to fucking control my environment. I was shy in the environment. I'm just not that guy anymore. But an important thing with residents is that one, you get a lot of more time. And I know Fernando kind of explained the times. And again, like if we go back a year or two ago when AZD was giving motherfuckers like what a Saturday teachings 1 week of like a fucking lecture to the time that everybody is getting now, I honestly think that some of y'all are taking advantage of the time he's giving now. Because back then you got to see him once or twice a week. Now he's doing lectures every fucking day.
The thing is that he knows the information is booby trapped, that you're going to crash real hard if you don't go deeper into it. And that's what happened. So it's given away. That's what the No Fucks Given podcast was. It was given away to build up for Tabiat, because the guys that didn't want to crash on that info, you got to go to Tabiat, like, you know, or you got to dive into it. Like the dedicated will find a way, like, you know, to make it work. That's just what it was at the time, was Tabiat. But that's what it is. Like this information is booby trapped, and he has said it at some beast camps and different camps, different events. Like I held back this so that it's like this is the secret key. This is the thing that puts it all together. This is the calibration, or this is that, you know, a lot of times it's a simple statement. A whole beast camp will be built around like a simple statement, but it's a lot of teachings to like contextualize this datum that through continual engaging with women day in and day out for 14 years, some words came out of his mouth in a conversation with a woman that he realized that was a cornerstone for this whole arch, for this whole logic and geometry of the universe. This thing is built on this code, you know, and he comes back, but then it's kind of like you go into a trip and you're playing music and you discover like the perfect thing, but it took the whole exploration to get there. And hopefully you recorded it, because that thing, you got to bring it back with you. And now you can convey this gem. And that's kind of what he does minus the drugs, you know? So,
as far as the time goes,
man, I get so excited when I hear you guys talk about it. I do all the shows solo, and then you guys talk, and I'm like, man, it's like looking at a diamond, but from another pair of eyes at the same time almost.
This is I swear, y'all gotta be here to see when Yogi Chris just taps in like that. When everybody tap in is different. When Sultan tap in, when Yogi Chris does I call this when Yogi bliss out, because when he bliss out, he just fucking goes. So y'all gotta be around when he bliss out for everything here. But so the residency, what you get is that you get the morning talks. Like y'all see the recorded shit. Imagine what goes on before we hit the record button, and then when the record button stops, imagine what goes on after the record button stops.
Impossible to imagine, man. You don't know what it's like. It's amazing, and we've, like he said, we get familiar with it. And you know, we love having resonance because we forget how, man, it would memento mori, man. If it was gone, man, it's so unique.
Having lunch with him, like I said, he's in there right now watching maybe anime. We actually watch a lot of different things. We've been watching Scarface anime, some Hero Justice League, whatever the fuck shit.
Always some character study. It's nothing for just like sense pleasure. The sense pleasure is in making it, in incorporating it into your life, integrating it somehow. But it's so playful, man. You can't help but like loosen up when he comes around, because he's on that vibe all the time, because he's designed his life to like sustain this lifestyle. You know, it's very, the world is going to resist you. You know, you're in an ocean of opposition. Yeah.
The best way I can describe it for anybody that played any type of sports or whatever is that you have coach, sensei, when he's in sensei mode or in coach mode, and then one day coach take you out to go have dinner with him. And it's like, oh man, it's like a special moment right there. So being able to experience like that special moment that you got from coach, being able to experience that shit when sensei, when he come out to have these moments of pleasure with us, when he never like stopped teaching us, and he never stopped being that guy.
His beingness, man, is the teaching.
Yeah.
His beingness, man. It's just, and so fuck. And I think that's the pressure, because the pressure is everybody would come with eyes on him looking for him to teach them something. The teaching is in the moments in between the teachings. You know, but then the teachings decode it for us and demystify it for us.
It's all an experience.
That's why I get irritated when people get on me when I'm listening to a lecture. I'm like, no, that's the one thing I needed to hear. You know, it always happens that they interrupt you right on that one sentence you were listening for it. And he'll say it. He'll be like, the frame you guys got to have. This is the frame that you guys got. It cuts out. Fuck the Wi-Fi here.
Then Yogi Chris sends a text. Yo, what did he say?
What he you know, shit.
But residency is very important because of that behind the scenes aspect. Beast Camp is one thing, but if you want to because Beast Camp is all teaching. Now residency is to see what how he actually lives.
Yeah, man. It's all raising your standards and raising your baseline and just kind of skipping out of your reality. You just start creating this other identity, you know? It's just what it is. Fuck, man. And it's an attractive identity. It's so powerful. I want to open it up. Does anybody have any questions or comments for any of us, or just any inspirations you'd like to share? Maybe even personal experience, whatever you're motivated. Don't feel like you got to, but don't hold nothing back.
On that note, ask fucking questions to get the answers that you need. I understand why y'all don't ask questions. If you caught my part, financially, fitness, all that shit, like, bro, if you need help, ask fucking questions. That's why we're here. So, like what he said, we open it up. You got questions to ask.
Hey guys, I had a quick question here. I'm getting the different phases, the understanding of it down, like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. I was just wondering if you could give an overview, and how do you know when you completed phase 1, and when you go into phase 2, when you've done phase 2, and now you're in phase 3? Like, is there any moments where you know, okay, now you got this down, now is when you go into the next part?
Phase 1 is determined by us. If we have seen you doing your thing consistently and we think you qualify, then we as the students bring it up to the master, like, we recommend this guy. Here's why, such and such and such.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, phase 1 is like almost like the opener. It's the most clearly defined phase. And then phase 2, a kind of mastery of it. You know, I don't think he's named anybody except maybe his girlfriend is someone that's like moved on to phase 3. But from the teachings, the phase 2 is more yin. Phase 1 is more yang. And I suppose when the expression of your yang has reached a certain level, that's when you're ready for phase 2. When the expression of your yin has reached a certain level, you're ready for phase 3, which is this mastery of the yin and yang, the alpha. And, you know, as you're exhibiting alpha qualities, there is level 4 is like, I mean, that was Code Dracula. So, I mean, at that point, I think it's just, I think that's always been like the mind control and hypnosis and the language and influence, and that combined with the alpha code led to the frequencies of information that was this kind of Zepar archetype sort of thing, reality or whatever. And so that's level 4, but I don't know when one is ready for that. I think it's always present, but as far as a personal practice, the phase 1 is clearly defined. When your yang is coming out, then you learn phase 2 practices. You'll get those videos. As you get practiced in phase 2, everything will make more sense, because then you can really start evolving as you learn alpha qualities and characteristics. Because where you're not manning up, you phase 1. Where you're resisting or dramatizing, you phase 2. And then as you develop yourself, you become available to access level 4. If that's how I understand it.
Yeah, I see how you was explaining it there, and I was like, I can probably see how they don't get it. That's why it's levels to this shit. So in order to understand it, like he was trying to explain, phase 1 is you beasting out and just tearing down all that shit and just being a fucking monster in your curation of your character. in phase 2, like you said, when it comes to the whole yin and yang thing, now you're learning to control that beast and go out there and have that presence of whatever your character and that beast is, of not giving a fuck. And the shit that affected you before, it no longer has the same effect on you, because now you know how to deal with that pain, walk with that pain, carry that pain, and that pain doesn't affect you anymore. In phase 3 and phase 4, the only way you're going to understand that aspect of it, like he said, when it comes to Count Dracula, you need to have that beast of phase 1 to be able to first look like you're a fucking beast, to be able to walk up like a fucking beast, carry yourself like a fucking beast. Then they ain't come in from phase 2 for you to be able to carry that whole Dracula and seductive thing into it. So it's levels to get to that phase. And if you're not at the phase, then you don't understand it. Because if you go out there on some cold Dracula shit and you don't look like a fucking beast, you don't carry yourself like a fucking beast, you don't speak like it, cold Dracula's not gonna work for you.
Yeah, it's almost like a Kosh.
That makes really good sense, guys. Thanks. You know, I think the word that really stood out here, a couple of other guys mentioned in the chat, is like the word beingness. I think what came in my mind is the kind of like it's an evolution of your beingness. I think that the grounding, the beasting, and then it evolves, like you guys said, into the controlled beast, and then the step after and the step after. So yeah, that really helps. Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah,
I want to say something.
yeah, go for it.
You know, when we were on phase 1, there was no concept of phase 2 or phase 3 or phase 4. There was no idea of that. It was just totally immersing ourselves and falling in love with that process. You see, my mindset every day when we were doing phase 1 was, damn, I'll do this for the rest of my life. I can't see myself not doing this. It became so integrated. I became one with the process. It became me. And so the question of like, how do we know when we're in phase 2? I think you'll know. You'll know. The answer will come to you, because we all knew when that time came, and we all felt the same thing, and we all knew when it was the next part of, the recover. Well, I don't want to talk about phase 2, but we knew when, the next evolution of this thing will, and you'll know your natural cycle, man. So fall in love with your beast and explore how far you can really take this character. How far can that image of your beast and your mind be so real? And when I look back to my videos, I was like, damn, dude, I was fucking aggressive on this camera. And I wasn't the most calibrated. I was not, I was resisted. A lot of people were being resisted by me, but good. You want to go through that. Why? Because it only makes you more of a beast. Now, I'm not saying destroy your fucking life, but in that process, you'll start to see what wasn't for you. And as I like to say, anything that ran away from me, or anything that, or anybody that, is no longer in my life since the beginning of this process, was never meant to be to where I'm at today. They weren't meant for this evolution of me. But those that are now around my life and those that are around me now, shit, boy, do they reap the benefits of this shit. And so just stay true to your process, man, and you'll know the answer when it's time to know the answer.
That's true. I that last part for sure. I'm like, man, you'll go like, AZD, am I ready? You'll like come with enthusiasm. Be like, I want phase 2. And probably the first time you'll say no. And then the second time you'll be like, I really think I'm ready this time, AZD. Really, why? You'll be like, because of this, that, and the other. Oh, okay. What do you guys think? Okay. All right.
I'm like the hardest one to impress.
Yeah, basically. Cortez will be like, nah, I don't think so. He hasn't been checking in enough. He's not active enough on Telegram. I haven't seen really a body composition change. He's not in post-metabolic syndrome for his cardio workouts yet.
I mean, my one question is the same for everybody. Where have you been? If you want to pass phase 1, where the fuck have you been? Because I ain't seen you doing shit. What have you done? And it's not like I said, because I put this out a while ago. I don't care what you've done for me. I don't care what you've done for others. Phase 1 is I'm trying to figure out what the fuck have you done for yourself. This is for you.
Just on a quick side note of that, because it's kind of combine two things. Because one, I think it's Jonathan. The world says how do I supercharge my yang energy? That's phase 1. Phase 1 will supercharge your yang energy. So just go back through those videos. You're coming as alumni to this next phase 1. You'll get other perspectives on phase 1. It won't be the same event. Alumni of the phase 1, beaded monks like Tony, whoever, it's half off for alumni if you want to do phase 1. And oh fuck, what was I gonna say? You were just saying about Part of it, part of phase one is, I think, is posting.
You're checking in. Telegram
The checking in, but like mimicking AZD's posting, I think was part of phase one. It was like an unsaid thing. I think it was kind of said sometimes. So the getting your voice out there while you're beasting was part of it. Because if you're a beast, but if you start to go behind a camera and you lose your beast, like that was like part of it, I think. So that would also increase your yang energy, and that's also accountability. I think that's everything that gets you there. It gets you there faster.
So as far as that accountability, I sit back down. As far as that accountability and check-in piece go, is that one, when you count in, you're stating that, hey, I stand here. This is my gang. I'm right here with my motherfucking people. Then when you share the shit, if you like really believe in it, now you're putting your beliefs out to your people, and whoever don't support, I don't know if they're your people,
that's
but
the
you're putting
philosophy
it out
of the ant.
there.
That's the ant, right?
You're putting it out there, and whoever doesn't fucking support you, you need to know who doesn't support you and get rid of them. And that's when it comes to controlling and creating your environment.
And I tell you what, when you see what AZD did, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, tribal leaders. Now that you've cleaned out your social media posting as a beast, now start selling to your social media collaborations with AZD. And now we grow. Now we grow from internally. We have a nucleus that has reached a critical mass that can now grow internally instead of just marketing. Because the world will resist you. The world likes an alpha male until the alpha male wants what he has.
Exactly. And like how you go back and forth. But by doing that and making yourself known, making your presence known, making your beliefs known, it's like I said, once you get rid of everybody around you that's fake, then it also comes to the family. And I can't tell y'all how to, control your family. But the reason why you put it out there is because, like, when it comes to family and you respect them, then you lower yourself to them. If what you believe in is going to cause conflict, you're probably going to like lessen your beast. And I have a fucking problem with that, because you should lessen yourself for nobody. And that's why I put everything out there, bro. Whoever doesn't agree with you, fuck them. Especially if we agree with you or you agree with us. Like, obviously your people are out here somewhere. It's not like we're not here.
Cortez goes straight thug on me sometimes when he disagrees with me. It gets intimidating.
Yo, Chris, my brother, because he's always fighting back with me.
I have to call upon my inner white supremacist to be like, nuh-uh, that's not true. No, I'm just kidding.
On that note, this has nothing to do with what we was talking about. But like I said, I think that a lot of y'all take advantage of AZD time on that, because I talked about finances. Trying to help everybody get out of debt.
I take advantage of this time. But
not the way that.
You mean with the debts? Is that what you mean?
Well, I'm getting into that.
Okay.
So the whole debt thing, we talked about the whole financial thing. What I have done for the past 4 or 5 months.
I see what you're doing.
I was fucking fighting with AZD, and I've been the only one fighting with fucking AZD to get y'all boys fucking discounts on these beast camps. Now, in all the time that AZD has done his products, he has never discounted them. So then when he started discounting,
is that why he started doing it?
Yeah, I was like, I started to, and it's hard because you can't tell the master that what to put a price on his fucking wisdom and shit like that. But it's like, I'm trying to help them, so can we get some type of discount? And now we got these fucking discounts out here that I worked so hard to get for y'all. Y'all not taking advantage of the shit. And as of last month, Yogi Chris actually helped me try to get some discount for you boys. It's like, why the fuck am I fighting and y'all not even taking advantage of it, bro? Might as well just charge y'all ass full price.
Yeah, I don't know. It's amazing. Everybody's got such an amazing and diverse, so many diverse lives on Lion's Den. It's a man. I'm so proud of this group that I've been a part of. This tribe. Is there any other inspirations or questions or comments?
I'd like to say one thing. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, it's Adrian. Now,
What's up, Adrian?
all right, so my question is this. How do I put this? And in your opinion, what would be like the ideal scenario that would make, okay, because it's a good thing that you just said that everything is so diverse. Does that mean that you notice that everyone's so different that we somehow have to come together, like more as a group and communicate like closer so that we can all do what we have to do to, let's say, pay AZD properly and for things to run at 100% efficiency? Because I want to know what that is. Like,
Uh,
what is,
Not really. Okay. Sort of. I mean, on an economics level, if you did tribal council and you're growing and you're cleaning your environment, you will eventually, as you get into this life, you'll become like a loudspeaker for the philosophy as you've applied it, because that's the only really way to go. Like AZD has said, the only way is to make your own tribe. So, and then as far as like my the brotherhood, just from experience, I mean, it's a this is a war for your mind, and what will break the allegiance between men will be all the ideas that we speak about on our social media, especially women. And women is where men will break, but I feel a closer bond and a sense of man, I don't know if sense of security is the right word, but it's like the ideology here is really tight and it's really right, and it's um so it's dope because I feel tapped in with all the people that are in the Lions Den. Like I feel tapped in New Jersey, I feel tapped in Dallas, I feel tapped in Florida, I feel like I'm there almost, like electricity, like there's a power line where I could just zing and be like right there almost. And for reasons that, because I know that you, as you progress in this, that you yourself are also pushing back the forces of the feminist world. And, so I come to, it's like honor. It's as AZD is talking about, it's honor. You earn your honor the more that you do that. And that's so cool because it's so rare. And I don't know, I guess in my age, my humble 34 years, I just appreciate it, man.
Okay. If I can chime in there, I don't know if I fully understood the question, but diversity is very important because like we carry these
I
ant
forgot that was the
symbols.
question, really.
We carry these ant symbols in this, what's the word? Economy.
hey guys, hold on. Let me rephrase this so that you understand what I'm actually saying.
Yeah, what are you saying, actually?
What I'm saying is because my thing is that I love, like, one thing I've discovered about me being on this process is that one of my favorite things is actually helping people come together to do something bigger.
Yeah.
And I like being like the centerpiece of that. So my question is what would be the ideal situation for everyone to win? And like, because what you guys are saying is that essentially we're coming up short, kind of. We're not making it to these camps. Some, like Cortez is saying, some of us are in debt and we're not handling our
I'm
money.
not, I mean, maybe they're saying that. I'm not saying they're wrong or right. That's not my message. I'm not, Yogi Chris's message is not, you're coming up short. My message is,
But we kind of are, though. I mean, I'll admit it. I feel like I am.
well,
I feel
yeah.
like
I mean, I think we all feel that that's what personal development is like, I think ACD feels that a little bit sometimes. That's where the growth happens. And but the ideal situation is you just go all in. You go all in on your life. And if you see this as I see this as rescuing my life from basically this ocean of toxic feminine communism, kind of it's just toxic out there. The whole world is toxic. The most right-leaning groups are still just feminists. They don't get it. And the ones that are really out of the feminist thing don't attract any women. So it's the whole world is just a big trap. I really feel like, the world is insane. I really feel like there's like 300 or 500 guys that are the nucleus of IMC Nation. And then there's like the rest of the world. And it's like 500 against like the whole world pretty much. And that's why I hold the camaraderie so dope, because I really think that it's like the Spartans 300 against like a whole big army. But we got the strategy, we got the position, we got the angle, we got the leverage, really, and we got the strength, and it's literally that, and figuratively. So the ideal situation for growth, I think, is, like I said, the internal is you just speak it out, you collaborate with events with AZD, and you you grow it like that. You grow your name, your honor, your position within the group, and the group is big enough that it's like it attracts you because you benefit. It's very selfish. It's like this is for your benefit. That's why it can be so easily and honestly like charged and like for money and like demanded and said like, are you really valuing yourself? Like we can come at you when we say that because it's really for your good to get this, because it's freedom from a prison planet, a prison of your mind. You're not going to make it. And I don't think you will, because I don't think I would by myself. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to keep any of the group if you leave the group. Yes, for sure. So, I mean, that's kind of, that's the ideal, if that makes sense.
So for me, when I heard you rephrase it the second time, what you literally asked is exactly what the fuck we taught to tribal leaders. Because you're trying to be the centerpiece of your people. So AZD is the centerpiece of us, right? Of all of us, which is why we're so diverse. So I felt what you said on falling short. So let me tell you how I feel like that. It's not even how I feel. I am falling short. So when it comes to IMC Nation and when it comes to me being a tribal leader, when it comes to me helping IMC Nation, cool. I feel great that I can help out my people here, and it's so diverse. And like even when we collaborate, like so Yogi Chris being the fucking white blissful guy that he is, he can't just like walk in Memphis. Really not too many people can just walk in Memphis. But with me, then I can get you into the environment of Memphis, right? And then the places that Yogi, that's just a fucking Yogi place or something. I don't think I even like feel we just walk into a yoga spot, right? But Yogi Chris has the power to get me into that. So that's what the whole diversity thing do that we create here by helping each other. We can leverage everywhere in the fucking world. He mentioned Jersey and everything like that. But let me tell you where I am falling short, because you said you're falling short. Even though I can help out not everybody in the IMC Nation, but I can help out a decent amount of people in the IMC Nation. Where I'm falling short is I can't help out my fucking people in the hood because they're not making enough money to fucking get out, bro. So when I'm teaching them and I'm trying to help them and they're still struggling, it's like, bro, I'm falling short as their fucking tribal leader because I can't get them out. So I fall short there. However, I do take my wins being able to help all my IMC Nation boys.
Right on. Fernando, you got anything excuse or anybody else have a inspiration or comment?
I mean, I could just touch on that. What Adrian said. Everybody brings their own individuality for sure, but what binds everybody together, of course, is AZD, but the values that each man carries here, right? It's the value that's senior to the me. Like, for example, if I didn't conduct myself by the standards or the ethics of IMC Nation, I would not be as liked. Right? If I was constantly violating the environment, I would not be as liked. Now, it's in your right to work whatever toxicity you've been ingrained and indoctrinated in your environment and handle that shit. You see, I don't bring my emotions out on anybody. If I'm feeling emotional, I handle my own shit. I don't bring it out on people. Now, that's me, right? But again, I think that by me, not trying to repress my expression, but truly accepting my expression. Like, I love where the fuck I'm from. I love the way I talk. I love my influences of, what I listen to and what this is the shit I grew up in. And so, of course it helps having AZD because I feel like me and AZD are very close. We both grew up in California. We listen to a lot of the same shit that I grew up listening to. A lot of the same style. And he's reawakening all these things that I once was growing up. Somewhere in my timeline, I got infiltrated by, again, feminist communist ideas. When I first got into like self-help and the real estate industry, I pussified my character because I felt as if I wasn't going to be accepted in the eye of a professional, right? And as I broke those chains of what I created in my mind, that identity of a bullshit realtor, whatever the fuck I was playing, I then fully accepted that individuality of my culture, of where I come from, of who I am, and I embraced it with the ethics and the morality of IMC Nation, which then gives me a strong character where people are like, man, I really like the character you're playing. Well, all I'm being is the truest expression of where I come from. Now, every man here comes from somewhere else. Now, as you're working and continuously evolving in your process, right, in your studies of IMC Nation, you're going to, at some point, tap into and accept, like, man, it's dope that I come from, let's say, New Jersey, and you be that character. You be the guy that's from New Jersey, you know, that has his certain dialect, but that can communicate to IMC Nation from the frames of the values, right? We're all binded by our values and the way we communicate with each other, you know. And I don't know. That's what I was just going to say.
Yes, sir. This is quite a high vibe situation that we find ourselves in, and with all you brothers, you know, basing up is inevitable. Coming to events is inevitable. We got a big event happening tomorrow, Rise of the King, the Mummy's Code. This is going to be dope. A lot of storytelling, a lot of language. This will be the language of how to speak from that point of view. And then your world will organize around that. You'll see a lot of change. I think that from the cycles that I have observed and patterns of AZD's evolution I've observed, I think more than most events, the people that leave on Sunday or Monday are going to be talking noticeably different than how they came on Friday. It's going to be a difference in your communication, not just mindset. Like, you're just going to be talking different, and that's going to create immediate differences in your world. So that's Rise of the King tomorrow. I don't know anybody in California that's going to make it live. You could make it live, but online is $9.97. And then phase 1 event is next week. You should do that if you haven't done that. There's just a few of you on there, but I know that the newbies, the new guys, they maybe haven't really, I don't know how much you know about it, but that's the thing. To start off is not the advanced camp, is the phase 1 camp. And that's to get the routine, the regimen, the philosophy. It's designed that you think you might have it. I can send you the calisthenics of it, but these guys can tell you that even though I send you all the written details of it, it's not it. Because, I mean, how could it be? It's just not. You need the teachings of it so that you can do it, which is a routine, right? And apply. And you'll apply. You stay dedicated for 2-3 months, it's going to change you. And then everything else is going to make more sense what AZD is doing. But just remember, he's 1 in 10 billion, or 1 in a billion. You say 1 in a billion, 1 in 10 billion. Like, on planet Earth, this guy, with what he's doing, it's almost like he's a minimalist. He's like seeing how much he can do with how little. And he's doing a lot with like nothing comparatively. And it's something that we would all desire. So it's not digging a hole in the middle of nowhere just to see how big a hole he can dig. Like, you know, it's just fucking, it's impressive for good for that thing that we would all want, that every millionaire would exchange a portion of his money, if not all of it, for a fraction of the experience. And that's real powerful because it's built on nature, man. Is there anything else? That's my closing statement. Cortez, you got anything you want to close on?
I don't think y'all have enough questions. Like,
any more questions? Are there any more questions?
No, I was going to explain.
Okay.
Fuck y'all questions now. About to go, but I don't think y'all have enough questions, and the reason why I say that, because only a person who don't ask enough questions or don't have enough questions means that you either have all the fucking answers or you don't need help. Now, I know y'all like y'all don't see us ask questions online, but believe me, the off the camera shit of the residency, if you come to fucking residencies and us being with AZD, everybody in this motherfucker asks questions about what we need help with. So whatever you need help with, why are you not asking fucking questions in the 1 and 2 hours that he give you? When he's the man who got all the fucking, you're here for a reason. You follow him for a reason. You got the answers to whatever the fuck you listen for. Ask questions.
Peace, brother.
Peace. What's up? Is that hello? That's hello.
Hey, it's Star of Truth. What's up?
What's up?
Hey,
Hey,
hold
I
on, hold
got a
on.
question, bro. So
This is not Gene.
Now, Gene, where you ever pull-ups? My bad. I didn't want to interrupt your question, but where you ever done pull-ups, man? Give me a number.
yeah, man, I still didn't do the pull-ups yet.
Oh man.
Still just doing kickboxing, weight training. So I've been beasting out after my first beast camp was in October, and then I fucking crashed and burned. The gym closed down because of COVID. So I brought it back up January, February. Been beasting since. Fucking smashing my goals. I was just doing kickboxing. Now I added weight training, and then I added personal kickboxing training. So my question is, sometimes like I don't want to crash and burn again, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm actually starting to feel the exhaustion, whereas like I'm about to crash and burn right now. But I'm I got better mindset over the months from AZD and stuff. But I just like want to know, what do you guys do when you feel like super exhausted? Like, like I still got a weight training. I'm about to go to weight training right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I still got to do it because it's just in me. I got to go. But then I just want to know how you guys deal with like, just like, fatigue, exhaustion. Like I know we got to rest, but I like to hear what you guys do.
So if I feel like I'm finna like crash and burn, because there's a difference between fatigue, but if I feel like I'm finna crash and burn, I take a 24-hour rest day. Like, give a fuck. Hey, I know what my body needs. If I need a rest day, I'm gonna take a fucking rest day. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what I can and can't do just because I'm on a fucking routine. Nah, coach, I'll be in tomorrow. Who the fuck? I keep myself accountable. Ain't nobody gonna keep me accountable. And if I'm fatigued, then I already showed the supplements that I take. So I got the recovery boy. Like if you caught my story when I first jumped back in the gym, I got in that thing like I've been in the gym for like a year, and then for like 4 fucking days I was done because I fucking overtrained everything trying to get back in there on level 1000 shit when I should have started level 1. So I was out the game for about a week, but I got my recovery shit. I got my not the BCAs. I got my fish oils. So all that comes with knowing what your body needs to recover properly. I got the technique, my cold, my hot for the contractions and the contradictions, and like I just kind of know what I need to help with the fatigue. And if I'm gonna crash and burn, sayonara, give me 24 hours, I'll be back. We're gonna rest.
I feel that. Thank you for that, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, right on. I mean, you already know how to rest, so just learning how to rest. I mean, I think the biggest thing with overtraining is just, who are you trying to impress? You're doing it maybe not for yourself. You're maybe considering, or you're maybe training for someone else's opinion somewhere in there. Because I don't think any animal would overtrain itself.
I'm not trying to really. I can't think of who I'm trying to impress, but probably myself.
Well, I mean, yourself, but why? Like, if you got more honest with yourself, why impress yourself? Because if it was to test the limits of yourself, you wouldn't be asking about fatigue. You'd be asking how
because of this shit.
It's not because of that shit. That's not a reason. The reason is because of someone's opinion about that shit.
Could it be my own opinion? Because it looks gross looking at it. I want to look like you, Yogi Chris.
That's like saying women that wear makeup because they do it because to make themselves feel good about how they look.
I feel it.
Right? So that's what I'm saying, because I don't think any natural being would punish itself with working out. So it's your mind, you're doing it to yourself. So in your mind, why would you overtrain? Are you going to win some prize money? Is there some reason on the other end to lose this? Okay, so do you need rest, or do you want to lose this? Is the question, how do I lose this, or how do I get rest? Because I think I'm overtraining. Why do you think you're overtraining? Well, because I'm exhausted. Well, do you want energy, or do you want rest? Or, because if you want energy, then do things that give you energy. If you want rest, then you do things that give you rest. But I think the mindset behind it is, you might not be doing what serves your body the best because you're sacrificing your wellness for other people's opinions. Is my take on it. That's my yogi take on it. I might be wrong, but that's what I've observed in myself. When I start pushing through in a way that I'm injuring myself, or I'm taken away from tomorrow, it's because I'm punishing myself because of someone else's opinion. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I see. I don't really feel like that, but
Right on, man.
I wanna fight. I wanna fight in October, somewhere October, November. So I'm pushing for that. It's like,
Well, then the thing about rest, if you want like the science of rest, then yeah, definitely like a daily, as ice cold as you can do to decrease inflammation. So get a bag of ice and take an ice bath every single day. You should be doing that shit. And, you know, obviously sufficient rest, stretching to reduce inflammation. It's hard to stretch, but that will help increase the mobility. You can look up foods that you would eat that decrease inflammation. A lot of that exhaustion is just you're resisting yourself through the day because you have a lot of tension that's resisting your movement, so you get fatigued and tired. And you know, take a shavasana. So learn to just take a nap or take a rest. How to practice relax completely. How to drop 100% as if you were just dead for like 10 minutes. And it's amazing how much recharge comes. And you know, and time your caffeine at the right times. If you're going to use that. And, you know, anything that just helps the quality of your sleep. It's going to really get the sleep as quality as possible, you know. So if you're fighting, coming at it from like a wrestling training, like those are the things, the ingredients, like quality sleep, ice baths, and, you know, timing of your consumption of things. So it's almost like maintaining your blood sugar or whatever.
wonderful. Thank you very much
Hey,
for that.
hey,
insight.
Yogi, what's
Fernando,
your?
did you have? Sorry, I'll go to Jared, Mr. Slewman, in just a second. I want to make sure if Fernando, you had anything on that.
Just rest and recover, man. It sounds like, I mean, I get you want to fight too, but if you're exhausting yourself all the way up to fight day, you have nothing for fight, you know? So I like to see, you know, my body, because I've also in the process, I also got fucking fat that I've had for years, right? And I see the longevity of my life and my process, because I've also been the guy that's just exhausted himself. You know, I've done so many challenges and so many fitness things and diets, and to the point of exhaustion and complete depletion, right? And it was never healthy for a long aspect. And I'm here playing the long game. You know, how am I going to look in 5 years, in 10 years? Well, if I bit by bit continuously progress every day by doing to the point, let's use the language tap in, where I feel like I've exerted enough energy on this day, where I still have energy to work on my body, but also handle my relation. If you're in multiple relationships, you gotta have energy to handle multiple relationships. If you're the owner of a company, you gotta have the energy to handle fucking a lot of fucking people, right? So if you're fully depleting yourself just on the physical aspect, you got to look at where you're leaking energy everywhere else. You should be able to work out to have energy, you know, to continuously do your life and shit like that. But you know, it just sounds like, you know, some more rest and recovery, and you'll be back, man. Beast. Thank you, brother. Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. Mr. Slewman, what's
Yo.
up?
Yeah, dude, that's funny because I've fought before, and like I remember leading up to the fight, those last 2-3 weeks, dude, that is where you're spending basically all of your energy, man. I remember laying on the floor with the ice bag on my ankle, ice bag on my wrist, you know, after doing like CrossFit, 2 training sessions, and you know, but that led to a victory. So like, yeah, if you got a fight coming up, I'd say, dude, you're not going to be the most well-rested individual in the world. But like, I agree with Fernando, because if you're just working out and then your gas tank's on empty after you're done, then, you know, we got other things, especially all you guys are content creators. You guys have images, and that takes energy, man. So I definitely agree with Fernando on that.
Yeah, just find balance. You know, you have a lot of balance. Balance will be good. You know, once you get balanced, then you just keep it going. What makes it sustainable? You know, the guy you're going to be matched with for the fight is somewhat at your level, but you have IMC Nation mindset behind you, so you're going to win. So you're going to win even if you get pummeled. You're going to win because that guy's going to be like, man, I couldn't break him. He's going to break, not being able to break you. You don't even got to worry about it. So you just got to train to be healthy, so that because you're a father, you're a businessman, like you're not a professional fighter. You're just going to go fight. You're going to fuck them up. And that's easy. So the rest will take care of itself. It's already done. You already fucked them up. Now you just got to live a balanced life, stay healthy and strong. So,
oh, dude, if I can add on that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I took that same mindset into my new job, man. Like, I got this nice construction job, and other guys are more skilled than me, but the way I walk in, got up early, slept on the floor, took a cold shower, stoicism before I got there. Dude, it's like this, just my image, the way I get my posture, everything is just like, this kid is demanding full respect. He obviously must have a high value. We want this kid on the crew for sure.
Definitely.
And
definitely. And it sub communicates it. The closer you can get to AZD, you get some of the body language references, and you apply the phase 1 process. It makes you solid as a man. You see what's out of your control, what's in your control. Like, it's just it's how to just apply it. Like, you just drill it into your system and you emanate it. You just you become it. And then, you get a good grip on the world around you, and then you're better able to apply the technology of mind control, hypnosis, and influence, and male-female dynamics and game and whatever. And then you get a good contrast for level 2 and phase 2 for how to receive, how to heal, how to restore, how to relax, how to unwind, so that you can create more orderly space, like you want to loosen up so that you can resituate things. You loosen up inside, but you get too loose inside, and then you're never going to be alpha. So you got to yang out, yin out, yang out, yin out. You get reference for this yang and yin, and that's where alpha code comes in, because the alpha is alpha of the yin and the yang.
Yeah. Hey, Yogi, Yogi Chris, one thing that I'm seeing is that since I got back from the beast camp, I live with 2 girls, and it's like, I can't even talk to them I used to talk to them all the fucking time. And then after I went to the beast camp and came back, it got weird because my whole shit just changed. And it's like,
yeah,
it's fucking awkward, man, because
I get that.
They're with my male roommates, but it's like, dude, everything I learned from just being around you guys, like the way you conduct yourself in and out, not being available all the time.
Yeah.
Not over talking. You're holding something. You're working on shit. You got some mystery to you. Want to know about it. You're intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Just being like that. Like, I see them, they want to talk to me while I'm out.
Exactly. Man, you can't interact with your friends' girls, man. You just can't. You'll have to make some decisions at some point where you'll either cut your masculinity or cut your friendship a little bit.
Well, dude, I'm gonna move out, I think, and get my own place, because, dude, I want to put up IMC posters on the wall. I want to be able to talk loud about all this shit, but I do feel like we're in a tribe, and one of our rules is don't share personal stories. And anytime someone's talking, if I have it on the Bluetooth speaker, that's kind of sharing personal stories with people that don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think some of the guys might be starting bases. Maybe there's some bases if you're open to moving, and I mean, there's that. Or you just gotta, get your own place. So Adrian Garcia, you got a hand up, and then is there anything else? Anybody else? If you would, I don't see any comments.
I want to say one thing on that piece before Adrian asks his question. So Najim and whoever else was talking, I didn't get to see the name. But when it comes to everything, and I mean everything, phase 1 and everything else that I do in my life, for me, and because like you said, you were overtraining, being fatigued and things like that. And when I faced that situation, it's because I was trying to compete with somebody. So one of the things that go in my head is that when I was in combat and I got my ass dragged, like literally dragged and mopped across the floor by this guy because he was stronger than me. I tried to compete with his ass in strength, lost that. But then it's like, okay, where can I beat him? I can beat him in speed. So I started stop trying to compete with people, and I started competing with the person in the mirror. I started competing with myself. So when it comes to the phase 1, the first thing I asked you about, Najim, was the pull-ups. I was like, yo, where you at right now? So some people can't do pull-ups. So what about push-ups? I think it was like 50 push-ups, whatever the fucking number is, and then burpees, probably more than that. Like, I think honestly like about 200, right? So like more than it was. So if you can't do 200, don't spend 24 hours like, okay, I'm going to do 200 till you're fatigued and overburned. Have a goal for yourself. Okay, I can do 3 The goal for me is to try to get the 5. So when you step in the gym, when you step in the combat ring, in the boxing ring, have a goal for yourself. How many times you're gonna punch the bag? When you go for a heavy strike, how far can you move that boy? When you kick it, can you does the stand-up jump? When you kick it, can you get it on the ground? What angle can you kick it at to increase the power? I always started to compete with myself. And when I started competing with myself and setting goals for myself for my progression, even if it's a small one, let me give like one more fucking push-up out. 2 more put like just that small progression. That's how I started getting better, and that's how I stopped overtraining and being so fatigued. I started competing with me. I wasn't worried about what the fuck everybody else got going on, because people are stronger than me, people are faster than me, but I got better by competing with me and actually beat my own times and my own repetitions that were previous to my goals. That's like that.
Hey, Yogi Chris, can you describe how to use caffeine properly, please?
I had never codified it before, so let me think. Really, I mean, hydration is very important. Food, I like having a little bit of food, but sometimes even on an empty is okay, but it can create upset later down the bile tract. Not after a certain time, usually never after 3, usually not after 12. And definitely a lot of awareness around breathing and the tension in the fingers. The forearms tend to get tense on the caffeine and the breathing gets more shallow. So deeper belly breaths, just a little more emphasis on that. And then the timing with the consumption, I think a lot of the things that I would say about it are just me observing my own body on caffeine. So I think just observing how your body reacts to caffeine and learning to measure it, that it is a drug that's affecting your system, your nervous system, and like I said, your breathing and how with your hormones and everything. Adrenaline affects how your heart contracts and how other muscles in the body, how you coordinate with your body, because it's a fight flight hormone. So that's arms and legs versus rest digest is going to be like heart and head and breathing muscles. And so you kind of lose your breath, but you get real tense in the extremities, on caffeine. So learning to gauge that and how to measure it for yourself, I think is important. With energy drinks, it'd be like the same thing. And I do drink energy drinks later sometimes for like, paying attention to long lectures, like during beast camps. Me personally, I don't know if it's a placebo thing. I take the energy drinks in the mouth and I try to let them absorb through my gums more and my tongue more than just swallowing it and going right to the belly. I do that sometimes. And I think that helps. The belly, it gives me this like buzzing feeling from my belly that just it'll make me eat to try to cope with it. So I don't necessarily like that. Anything else about caffeine? And I think just really making sure the eyes will get tense. So more focus on eye relaxation. So I'll look around in circles and close my eyes more frequently, because you'll just get dry eyes and hold your eyes open. And hydration, definitely throughout. You really don't notice how hyped up you are until you try to relax. So if you have a meditation practice or a Shavasana practice, that's when you'll notice how hyped you actually are on the caffeine, or how, let's say you were fighting or training fighting. You don't realize how excited you are coming off the mats until you try to sit and meditate. And it takes you 10 minutes just to calm down before you even get to your meditation. So these things give you a measurement of your excitement level, because a lot of energy can be generated through your imagination. But when you need energy, you just fucking take it, and then just learn to relax later, or you'll get chronic fatigue. You got to study and practice relaxing. Very important. Fernando, any ideas on that? I know it was for Yogi Chris, actually. So is there anything else? Anybody not coming to these camps? I think you should. Oh, Fernando's off. Oh, he left. Okay. Aus. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. What's up? Yeah. Anything for Fernando?
I mean, if you're gonna drink energy drinks, I drink energy drinks, and I look at what I'm gonna use it for. If it's just like as a vice, as an addictive, escape or as a pleasure, I don't want it. But if it's something for me to perform with, or if it's something for me to use, then go right ahead, man. Now, if you want to look at like the scientific data and research, Yogi Chris is better to ask for that. For me, I mean, fucking drink the damn thing if it's gonna help you perform.
Yeah, but I definitely like that distinction Fernando made there. The vice versus just perform. So I used to perform, and then relaxation. Emphasis on that, I think, is how you avoid any really the negative sides of things, and then observe yourself like a scientist. So, okay, well, we got phase 1 next week. We got Rise of the King tomorrow. So I hope you'll attend. Send me a private message if you're interested. You can message Fernando. You can message Cortez. Any questions on that? There's some bonuses involved with it, and I think it's going to be the best yet. So tap in. All right, Os.